The Suns take Bronny with, just for the sake of discussion, the 22nd pick in the first round. What are the odds LeBron would sign with the Suns, Rachel?
I think they are low. Yeah. In fact, I would say that there is maybe a 0.5% chance.
That's really low.
That LeBron James will not be playing in LA next season, because I got to account for the fact that we have earthquakes, we have landslides here. It's possible the state of California could, fall off, and he would need somewhere else to play.
Like so fall into the ocean.
Right, I'm leaving a half a percentage point for that. You never know, Keyshawn.
Yeah.
I think the idea that LeBron would go anywhere else is very silly. I know he has said in the past very strongly, I want to play with my son, but that has receded in the last year or so, in part because Bronny has been vocal about the fact that I don't know if I want that. So there has been a move away from that. Rich Paul has now specifically said that LeBron is not going to go chase whoever drafts Bronny. And the other issue is they don't have the money to bring LeBron James in. So they would have to either trade Bradley Beal, who has a no-trade clause, and I don't know if anyone who wants him after this past season with that no-trade clause and at his salary. I'm not saying nobody will want him in general. Mm-hmm. Or they've got to trade KD, which would be a huge factor, right? So I don't see this happening on any level. And I think that the fact that they've only allowed him to work out for the Suns and the Lakers tells you he will be with one of those teams next year. And I think there's still a strong possibility they do play together, but it would have to be here in LA, unless there's an earthquake or a landslide.
Yeah,
knocking on wood.
we've been talking about this for a couple years now, right? On various shows and conversations about whether or not Bronny's an NBA guy and whether or not his dad, this, that, and the other. If it's a package deal, it's a package deal. So damn what? Number one, he ain't going to Phoenix because, like Rachel said, economically, it doesn't work. Why would you go to Phoenix if you're not, for what? Because they're going to draft your son? They can draft your son right here in L.A. or sign him in L.A. if that's your desire to play with him, which is fine. People in industries hire their kids all the time. He would essentially be hiring his son to play with the Lakers. That's what essentially he would be doing. Big deal. So what? Well, I don't even understand that, but it's more about LeBron for me. And I've said this to Rachel. I tried to get it through Paul's thick skull. He doesn't want to believe it. I told you many times over. He's not leaving Los Angeles at this point in time in his career. He has indoctrinated himself in the Los Angeles community, not just the hood community, but the entertainment-based community for everything that they've been able to do. Literally everything. Whether it was stories being written in the LA Times about the way that they've done things, just all of that. That's important. And I'm not talking about there's this blackball situation where if he doesn't stay with the Lakers, he's going to get blackballed. No, it's not that. It's that you have a bigger play at stake at the end of your career. Your owner has a lot of say and power with the rest of the owners across the league. LeBron James and Rich Paul and Maverick Carter them have a desire to own an NBA franchise at some point, most notable Las Vegas, to the point where the commissioner a year or so ago joked about LeBron being the owner in Las Vegas. Somebody has to sign off on that amongst the governors that own teams. You don't want to all of a sudden alienate or treat somebody wrong like Jeannie Buss, make her think for whatever reason you're going to stay, then all of a sudden you done shoot off to the side. You don't want to hang out at the Kendrick Lamar's concert this past on Juneteenth, and then all of a sudden stand there amongst all the LA Laker fans and then go play somewhere. You don't do business that way. And LeBron doesn't want that stain in his career of leaving the Lakers high and dry. There's a talk about a statue potentially being placed in front of Crypto, Staples, whatever you want to call it. There's a talk about his jersey being retired. You think if he all of a sudden, I guess you call it fired Darvin Ham, fired Frank Vogel, hired J.J. Redick, and then he leaves and leaves Jeannie and everybody just high and dry, how would that look for him and his legacy here in Los Angeles? This ain't Cleveland, and this ain't Miami when it comes to the fan base. I'm sorry to say it.
Question.
Just not.
How much of a stain would it be on LeBron's legacy if he left L.A. and went to Phoenix, and next year the Suns won a championship, and he could say, I've won championships with 4 different franchises. How much of a stain would that be on your legacy?
Legacy as a whole, I'm not talking about his career legacy.
Right.
I'm talking about where you sit and where you live at, where that sun beams down on you and you get that nice golden tan. That's what I'm talking about.
I got it.
And by the way, for the money involved in trying to get him to that team, because Rich Paul has made it clear he's not taking a minimum.
He ain't taking no minimum. Why would you?
You have to trade away someone like Kevin Durant.
Now we get back to the age-old question. It's come up many, 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 many times in my career on this and the other show. At what point would LeBron say, I will take less money for a better shot at winning a championship? Because if I want to be in the GOAT conversation, I don't even believe he's in the GOAT conversation, I need to go say, I won one when I was in my 40s with the Phoenix Suns. Help me out. Who would have a better chance of winning a championship next year? If LeBron took minimum money, and Rich Paul's dug in and said, there's no way we're going to do that because LeBron never has done that in his career. But what if he went the Tim Duncan route? The great Tim Duncan, one of the greatest players ever.
I get it. He took less money to win a championship.
Took less money. He took, look at his last 4 years. He took 10, 10, 10, and finally 6. Yeah. And they should have won 2 of those 4 years, and Ray Allen
But he wasn't 40.
Yeah.
Skip.
When he was getting close.
He wasn't 40, though. Yeah. LeBron is at an age where...
Okay, do the hypothetical. Let's just do this.
Okay, we're going to play the hypothetical.
Kevin Durant is going on. He'll play next year at 36, so he's getting up there also. But what if you had a team, I'm just doing the hypothetical, just for the sake of discussion.
I got it.
What if you had Kevin Durant? He's pretty good, right? And Devin Booker's still in the heart of his prime, so he's really good. And Bradley Beal's been beat up, and he's
But he comes back strong.
Bradley Beal shot 43% from 3. He is this era's Ray Allen. I don't care what you say. He is deadly.
I get everything that you're trying to say.
Would he not fit if what that team was lacking last year was a point guard? It was Chris Paul. Is LeBron not still, to me, the best point guard in basketball?
If LeBron James went to the Phoenix Suns, they would be at the top of the heat.
They would be.
No question about it.
And keep going down the list. Then you'd bring Grayson Allen off the bench. He's a pretty good defender and three-point shooter. And then Eric Gordon's still got some game left, I think.
Your hypothetical doesn't make sense, though, Skip.
It doesn't?
No, from a basketball standpoint, yes. But as I said to you before, we playing a long game, man. We not playing a short game to get a championship because we still feel we could get one here in L.A. If he decides to go to Phoenix to chase another championship, and let's play your hypothetical. What if they don't, and they lose to Denver again?
Okay.
Now what?
Well,
now what? You done alienated everybody out here in Los Angeles because we done hired your co-host. We done got rid of a coach that took us to a Western Conference Final. We done got rid of a coach that won a championship. Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Well, where do you have a better chance of winning next year's championship?
Yes, but it's the long game. You're not alienating.
Well, he doesn't have a long game to play. He's 40. He's going on 40.
No, I'm talking about post-career.
Okay.
If he's willing to take a lot less.
A whole lot. I mean, we're talking about minimum money. Right? Yes.
Really, he should do that with his own team. Because if he's willing to
I'll buy that.
Absolutely.
Right?
I'll buy that.
Yeah. So to Key's point, I think, Key, you made this point like 6 weeks ago, and I was like, that is the best point I've heard about LeBron leaving or not, is his future in this town and his future as a Laker and all of that stuff. So given that, if he really wanted to improve the roster around him, he could take a minimum right now with the Lakers. He could opt out and take a minimum. He is not going to do that because it has been very clear through the last few years, and Rich Paul made it clear again just recently, he is done taking haircuts, which he has done in the past, by the way.
A little.
I understand, but he's done it.
Yes, he took one
in Miami, right? He is done doing that, and he wants his full value. And the truth is, no team could ever pay LeBron his full value. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars to a team.
Agreed.
So he wants as much as he can get.
So he wants his 50 or 60 or whatever.
Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but he ain't taking veteran minimum to go play in no